Welcome to This is a Revolution, your, I don't know how much regularly, RevPro podcast. I'm George, joined by Dave. How are we doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. I'm good. I'm sorry that I think it's me and my fault that it's not been a weekly RevPro podcast of late.
Oh, I think it's a bit of both, mate. Bit of both.
I was on holiday last week, and the week before I was dying through illness. So, all back to full health and no holidays now for a few weeks.
Yeah, mate, it's not like, it doesn't matter anyway. It's not like much has been going on and we've had
No, it's been quite quiet since we last spoke, hasn't it?
anything of note happened since Wolverhampton.
No, I can't think of anything.
Nothing at all, mate.
No.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Oh.
I wonder how Alex Windsor's doing.
Yeah, I wonder how she is. Called it though, didn't you? Transitional champion Alex Windsor.
Yeah, but then, mate, I think we did a pretty good job between us, because you were the one that was like, it's going to be Mercedes versus Alexis, and Alexis is going to win. And I was like, oh, wow, I hadn't even thought of that. And then it was like, I think like Windsor's going to have a short title reign. And yeah, it's
almost like
that was so much fun to be there for. Like,
oh, I bet it was.
I was just pissing myself laughing. Like,
it was so WWE, but not in a bad way. Like, it was like over the top silly bollocks, but made sense.
And it made sense because Alexis goaded Windsor into doing it. It wasn't like Windsor was like, sod it, yeah, let's do it. She was literally just calling her a pussy and a coward.
Yeah.
And Windsor, like, weren't having it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I got the camera out because I was like, I think this could be like literally Windsor squashes Falcon in like seconds, or Windsor gets squashed in seconds. But actually, it was like there was much more to it.
Yeah.
That was, and what a cool moment for Coventry as well. Like,
yeah,
of all the places on the RevPro circuit, it's the newest town that they've been cracking away at, and that's like a pretty massive moment. So, yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, it was great fun. I mean, should we start with women's title scene actually? Because like I said, we so coming out of Wolverhampton and that weekend. So let's talk about the weekend as a whole. I think I was quite disappointed because I was hoping Windsor and Sapphire would be on the main card, but I think we also probably thought that at the time we said Sapphire wins it, right? Because as you mentioned, transitional champion Alex Windsor, Sapphire is probably going to take it and strengthen the Cutthroat Collective. And then she didn't. Like, they didn't appear and then she didn't. I was like, okay, cool. But I didn't envisage any scenario where Alexis Falcon would walk out with that belt until she walked out. And as soon as her music went, I was like, okay. And
in her gear as well.
Yeah. What I've really loved with Alexis since she's come in is we spoke about the entertainment side, okay? And one of the things that I've probably always said about RevPro is at times they don't lean into it enough. Like promos and stuff like that. Like, there's a little bit of it, but you're there for the wrestling, right? That's why you're there.
It's a very serious product, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think
I find myself saying a lot.
There's my worry with Alexis Falcon when she came in, and I've said this, I've been quite open with this, is in other promotions I was worried that she crosses the line into pantomime a bit too often, and that's probably how they want her to be in those companies, right? And then I saw her in Eve towards the tail end of last year, and I was like, no, she balances this line really well here. So it's probably more of a direction thing rather than an intent thing.
Yeah, it's not a lack of range, it's where she's being pointed towards, right?
Exactly, yeah. And so I've been really enjoying her in RevPro the more and more I've watched her. And if anything now, and this is not meant to sound in a bad way, I don't necessarily care if I get a match from her or not, because I feel like whatever I get from her adds value to the card, and it moves something along, so it's advancing something, and I think that's a really important tool. But yeah, the advancement to the title, the stuff that they're doing around her recently as well, with the Alexis Falcon retweets and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that is masterful. Like, a great addition.
If I wanted to hear from an arsehole, I'd fart. It's one of the greatest comebacks I've ever heard. The minute I heard it, I showed Emily it and she was just like, That's fantastic. Like, I'm actually going to use that. I'm going to use that against my friends. It's like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, she's so good. So good. And stuff like that is like the entertainment side, having a bit more of that, and like a bit more variety. Like I was watching the show in London at the weekend. Honest to God, her and Kanji are in like this really serious feud,
Yeah.
and the cameras haven't cut away because Kanji is literally moving her head to try and hide the smiles on her face. Like she's breaking.
Yeah, Kanji got broken.
And Amira did as well. Like she's breaking everyone. Like it's not being done in a way that I think is being done to try and be the funny heel. Right? There is an element of that, right? But she's being funny, but in a sense that knows it will get a reaction, but she'll always get the boos. I did like the don't fucking swear. Like he's watching, don't fucking swear or something like that.
He's watching. It's Easter Sunday. I love all the holier than thou stuff. She's just like I can't think of anybody that does what she does as well as she does that isn't on weekly television. Do you know what I mean? Like she's like gold dust in terms of an independent wrestler who can be equally as entertaining on the microphone as they can in the ring.
Yeah.
So that's normally associated with like really elite wrestlers.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I just find it really interesting, like, because I'm trying to think back to who, if anyone, has had the rise that she has had, like the impact. She's one of a kind, right? She's got the title before Kanji does.
Yeah.
She's got the title before Rio does. Like, if you told me that 6 months ago, I'd been like, absolutely no way, that's not happening. Kanji or Rio are nailed on for the belt next. I know before we think like back.
In the time, so I've been going to RevPro like pretty regularly to religiously now for 5 years, and in that time, the only women's championship changes have been from Windsor to Luna to Shirakawa to Mercedes to Alexis, and you're like, Windsor and Luna were the top names in like women's wrestling within Britain. Like it was obvious, like they're gonna be champions. They have to be champions. And then Shirakawa, we know, was always meant to be Stephanie Vicaire. And then they've brought in a big name replacement for Stephanie Vicaire, and she, then brought a huge amount of attention to RevPro. And we saw that through things like Instagram numbers that I remember talking about at the time.
Yeah.
Then you get the opportunity to work with Mercedes Moné. No one turns that down, do they? So that's like an immediate no-brainer. And now it's like back to the status quo of, okay, so which of the women within BritRest are we going to go to? Alexis Falcon was nowhere near where I thought. It would be, well, it's going to go to Kanji. And if not Kanji, then Rio. And if not Rio, then God knows.
Yeah.
Like, there's no third person there. So to have done as well as she's done, as quickly as she's done it, and like it's very popular. We're not the only ones enjoying it. I think is tremendous.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And like I think in that list that you said there, the only other person I think I would have probably said if it happened, I wouldn't be surprised with Sapphire Reed. That's the only other one. But that was even then, that was a bit
like she's a bit like a female version of like Cameron Kai, in the sense that she has worked RevPro from a very young age. And it's always been a case of, well, one day she's going to be champion, isn't she? It's just a case of when.
Yeah.
In the same way that we've always said, like, Kai will win the J Cup and be Cruiserweight champion. It's just
when.
At what point do they pull the trigger?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Are you up for Alexis versus Amira on Sunday?
That was a match I did not see coming
Me
And
neither.
I'm really interested to see how it plays out because
Mm.
we've got a number of things happening here, right? You've got Kanji and Rio happening this weekend, which like I'm gonna say I love everyone else on the card, but probably gonna be the pure wrestling match of the night. Okay, or certainly for me, like it's gonna be fantastic. I'm interested in seeing where that goes, and then the
Hmm.
implications that has into the winner of this, because you've got the Alexis Falcon factor, you've also got the Sky Smithson factor,
Hmm.
and does Sky Smithson try to cost Alexis Falcon the belt to get the belt onto Amira because then she's already feuding with Amira. So
What
you've
a
got
great way to get yourself a championship match.
yeah, like
And
there's
be
that
clever about it, as opposed to a criticism that wrestling fans have always thrown at wrestlers that they are inherently stupid.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's a really good point.
like you have someone attack them so they don't win the title, but that's fine because you can be the architect of them getting the title, and then you got that to hang
Yep.
over them. Does Kanji beat Riho, or does Alexis somehow have involvement in that match as well? And I know I'm talking about a lot of moving parts and a lot of hijinks going on, which isn't really very RevPro. But in the women's division, there's a lot of moving parts that could benefit from some of these hijinks a bit
Yeah,
more,
I agree.
and it would differentiate a little bit more from the rest of the card
Yeah.
in that sense, and a bit more story in there.
I wonder what
It's
order these
intriguing.
two matches go on as well.
Mm,
Because if they do Rio versus Kanji first and Kanji wins, Kanji could then try and cost Alexis Falcon the title.
yep.
If they do Amira and Alexis first, Alexis winning could then lead to her trying to cost Kanji the match later.
Hmm.
If Amira is to win, then surely it goes on one of the later parts of the show because it will be a massive pop. And if Rio wins, does she then make a big scene of like coming down to ringside and sitting down and watching the match and like trying to get in Alexis's head as, you know,
Hmm.
you might be the champion, but everybody knows I'm like the big dog around here.
Yeah.
I think it's been very, very cleverly put together because I think it's far more interesting than if it was Alexis versus Kanji and Sky versus Amira,
Yeah.
which is what I thought it would be. And whilst there's an element of like, oh, we're not getting Sky versus Amira, but we are, aren't we? We'll just get it in London, or we'll get it in Sheffield, or we'll get it at the Rumble. Like,
Hmm.
it's not going to happen. It's just we're taking another little side route to get there. And
Yeah.
I love long term stories.
Yeah.
So this plays into my tastes perfectly.
Yeah, I think this could have a number of implications that could come out of this. I'm trying to think along of how this goes towards Wembley, the women's title, right?
Mm.
Because I think I saw a tweet that Mercedes put out, which basically confirms she's done with RevPro for the time being.
Yeah, is that like
Yeah, basically like
that was the implication, was it?
yeah, thanking Andy and stuff like that, but then kind of ended it with I'm just a phone call away. So I could see a scenario where for Wembley she's brought back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of thinking there, do you run Mercedes versus Kanji again 1-on-1? Do you revisit a triple threat and throw Alexis in there because that's
Yep.
a wrinkle in itself. Alexis has
You
done
have
something.
Kanji win the title at Wembley with Mercedes there to hold up her hand.
Exactly, and you could in that moment one of the things that people criticised, and I understood this, was that you had the implication that Mercedes would lose it in a multi-person match because she wouldn't take the pin in RevPro, okay? And she's taken the pin for the belt. She's taken the pin in RevPro for other
Yeah.
belts, which Alexis walked away with. So you've done that bit, right? That bit's crossed off the list. So now if you put her into a triple threat and she doesn't take the pin and Alexis takes the pin, you're still, like you said, you get your moment because Mercedes gets to lift Kanji's hand. Doesn't matter that she didn't beat Mercedes because she's technically beaten them both. Like
Yeah.
you could have that element of it. Like it's really intriguing to think where this could go. But
There's
I'm
also, I don't know if
locked
you
in.
saw, but I think it was on the wrap up a couple of weeks ago. Andy very much suggested that he's contemplating a Revolution Road women's tournament.
Nice.
And that feels like a great way of getting to Wembley.
Agreed.
Because I feel like in the men's division, but this time next month, or in 6 weeks, we will pretty much know our Wembley main event, I suspect. Because the winner of the Revolution Rumble, we know is going to be in the main event. That's been like canonized and confirmed.
Yeah.
And then you'd think whoever is the champion at the end of the Rumble, this tournament winner versus Jay Joshua or Will Cruz, is pretty probably going to be the other person in the main event, in the same way that whilst there's a chance Young Guns could lose the belts between now and August, that feels less likely than they just plough on to FTR.
Yeah, let's move on to the men's scene then, or the heavyweight scene. So more and more, the more this has been going on, I'm locked into where I think we're going. And
Cool.
But I've got two branches where we're going. I'm thinking of this, right? So I'm gonna put both thoughts out to you. I've got this makes sense. This is a love letter to RevPro storytelling.
Yeah.
And then I've got this makes business sense, trying to sell out Wembley, but still be RevPro.
Yeah, got you.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with first of all, the storytelling sense, the RevPro storytelling. They cannot get away from Oku and Mills.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we have Michael Oku win the Revolution Road tournament? To me, again, I feel like this is a thing I keep saying on this podcast. We're seeing more heelish tendencies of Michael Oku. We're seeing lots of self-doubt come in. All of this stuff that
he was booed against Trent Seven.
I heard, yeah. So we've got all of this going on, and could Michael Oku heal it up, beat Jay Joshua for the title, and then Mills goes in as number one in the Rumble and wins the Rumble, right? And you do what you did at the Copperbox show, where you have all of these big matches supports the pure Rev Pro match on top.
Yes, yeah.
Even down to little things like Michael Oku calling a move the Final Destination. Like it just feels like, unless they're going to make the tournament final, and I'm saying this under the premise that Michael Oku gets past TK Cooper, Conor Mills gets past JJ Gale, and they face each other in the final. Not necessarily a guarantee with Pro.
Is that what you're thinking? Is for this route that you're proposing?
Yes.
You'd have Oku beat Mills another time. So that's another loss for Mills in the big one against Oku.
Yep.
With Mills then getting the Wembley match against Oku.
Exactly.
And Mills winning.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Mills will come out that with the title. The other route that I'm going is same. They get to the finals, but that match is made to be that big blow-off match. Okay, so that's given the pomp and circumstance.
So we've done Mills and Oku.
Yep.
And we're not doing Mills and Oku at Wembley. So what's Oku?
So Oku beats Jay Joshua for the title. Then he goes into the Rumble. And he wins the Rumble.
Got ya.
And he either calls out Zack Sabre Jr. or AJ Styles. And that's your way of getting... Because you kind of put the thought in my head when you said Zack Sabre Jr. I'm like, okay, but how do we get that? How do we make it make sense? Because in the nicest possible way, if you announce Zack Sabre Jr. or AJ Styles for the Rumble, there's your winner, right? The Rumble is spoiled. I'm sorry, there is no way Zack Sabre Jr. or AJ Styles are coming to Doncaster for a random pop on RevPro, right? Or you wouldn't have thought, because it doesn't make business sense.
I think Zack could. I don't think there's any chance AJ Styles could.
No. And
you announce AJ Styles and you milk the money's worth.
That's what I mean. From like the business sense, it feels like the thing you do. And yeah, that's how you get to the main event of Wembley, which both of those make sense for RevPro because they're both former
Yep.
British heavyweight champions. So it makes sense from a RevPro
Neither of your
sense. But
proposals have Jay Joshua headline in Wembley.
I would love Jay Joshua to headline Wembley, but I'm thinking about Wembley from the main event. To me, has to have that cachet of the story element. Okay, so unless they give Jay that, and they could do that. That's another option. They could give Jay that story cachet, build up, build an opponent up, but you've
Jay
got
versus Mills,
yeah,
with Mills turning out and out heel during the build.
that could work, but I don't think that beats literal years at Destination Everywhere, right? And if Mills in Cardiff last year had got the win over Oku, as I said, 100% we could build to that.
Yep.
I just don't think that has the same level of story. What I will say is Jay needs a big match at Wembley because the lad
I agree.
fucking
All of
deserves it.
these lads need a massive match.
Mm.
Mills, Oku, and Jay.
Yeah.
Whatever match that is.
And
okay.
Keeping my ear to the ground. The other thing that I'm hearing people suggesting, because people are thinking there's no way Mills is going to headline Wembley. So the other one that people are putting feelers out and saying we'd like this is Mills versus Nigel, which would be a great match.
Wow, I hadn't thought of that one.
But
it's funny enough. I've been writing a deep dive today, so I don't know when this podcast will come out, but it'll probably be that my deep dive and the podcast come out about the same time, or the deep dive a little bit first. But basically, looking at a few different pitches for the Wembley main event. So Mills versus Oku is one thing that I've been thinking about. Mills versus Joshua is another. Oku versus Zack Sabre Jr. that we talked about a few weeks ago. People that could win the Rumble without it having to be like a big storyline, because we've got a long time from the Rumble to Wembley to build that story. Gabe Kidd.
Yeah.
Gabe Kidd, I think, is now a big enough star in the pro wrestling like global scene that putting him in the main event is as close to a Zack Sabre Jr. or a Will Ospreay that you can do. I think he's at that level in terms of notoriety. Obviously, Ospreay's probably like the one, but that feels like it's impossible given what we've done and canonized with him.
Yeah.
Dan Maloney. You know, like, who saw Dan Maloney returning?
So
like that was absolutely nuts.
Shall I tell you something on that?
Yeah, go for it.
We were watching the show on Sunday and we were seeing RKJ do the beat. And when I say we, me and the wife were watching it. And RKJ was having a beat down for a bit too long. So we were like, someone's going to come out. And she said to me, she went, who do you think it's going to be? I went, Dan Maloney. Okay.
Did you really?
Honestly, I said that because in my mind, I was like, they're playing this up a bit too long for it to be just someone on the roster coming for the save. Okay?
Yeah.
So I was expecting
the Tom Felwell swerve. I thought was really good.
So I was expecting like a name on the screen, music to like have who it was, and I was like, okay, cool, you're gonna get that. You can get the big pop because it's got to be someone that's not been around for a while for that to make sense. And then they Orange Cassidy'd me.
They did, right? That's exactly what I thought.
And I was like, Tom Felwell came out, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, pretty good. That was my Shigehiro Iri.
Tom Felwell playing the role of Shigehiro Iri. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I went into the kitchen, and I heard some music, and my wife went, "You're right." I was like,
wow.
Yeah. It was a complete fluke.
I hope the pop was captured on demand as well as it was, because that was one of the loudest pops I've heard.
Yeah.
Given like, if you could mathematically work out like the loud of the volume of the pop compared to the size of the audience, like I've heard loud pops when there's 2,000 people in a room, or when there's 1,500 people in a room. but the sound of this pop for a crowd of like 300, if that actually, because it was Easter Sunday, so it wasn't the biggest RevPro crowd. It never is Easter Sunday. And just never saw it happening. Even Dan put out on his Instagram stories, like tattoo in the morning, building a bridge over the water with Andy Quilden in the afternoon, and then returning to RevPro. So like he's even publicly acknowledging the fact that there are reasons why the two haven't worked together for a while, like that, you know, whatever's happened or been said or whatever, you know. He seems to, at different points, he's worked Progress. He came back and did a Modern Nomad show. Like he's been all sorts of plaplaces, but not RevPro.
Everywhere. No.
Until now. And he looked like $1 million. Like he looked so good.
What do you think Dan Maloney's last match was in RevPro?
Leon Slater, 13th anniversary. 11th anniversary, sorry.
That's what I was thinking. So, yeah, it was, yeah.
And then he came back, he did Royal Quest. Him and Clark Connors.
Yeah.
But obviously that was under New Japan, just run by Andy. Like that's a long time, right?
So I was thinking, because in my mind, I was like, so at
3 years.
At first I thought it was that Leon Slater match. And then I was like, no, I've seen him against Luke Jacobs since then. But that was the same year, February. So yeah.
I got one out of the box proposal for you.
Go for it.
But it's not for a Wembley main event.
Okay, I like this.
Because this is the other possibility for the Revolution Road tournament, because Jay Joshua's not going to lose that belt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's JJ Gow wins the tournament.
Okay.
The man that everyone is overlooking, who doesn't, you know, Mills and Oku have got story. Cooper and Oku have got story. So everyone's been thinking about, are we getting Mills versus Oku? Are we getting TK versus Oku? And no one talks about JJ. And when you think about the Revolution Rumble, it's not the big main event, the championship match. The Rumble sells the Rumble tickets, right? So you've then got last year, we had TK versus Oku. And, you know, that probably isn't what people would consider like a York Hall main event. It was fantastic. And if TK Cooper is to be believed, shifted loads of tickets in the last few days after it was announced. But it's, you know, when you think of York Hall main events of years gone by, even just the last couple of years, it's normally big names. Mm-hmm. And at this point, TK Cooper is the surprising winner of the Revolution Road. I'd say he's more established as a singles wrestler now than he was then.
100%, yeah.
The year before, it was Leighton Buzzard versus Oku.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, again, that's not Leighton Buzzard now, who's fully involved in loads of RevPro stories. That's Buzzard who came in for a program to get a title shot.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't really consider that a York Hall main event. So there's kind of a precedent for the Rumble winner, the Rumble championship match, to not be an A, you know, an A versus an A, a top name versus a top name.
When you look at like WWE,
what a great thing it would be for JJ Gow to hang his hat on.
Yeah, WWE used to do the same thing. Like you get some of the
right.
When I say the lesser title matches, like it would be something like, oh, let's build up Bob Holly for a bit, and we have Bob Holly versus Brock Lesnar or something like that. And it would be like matches.
Even like now, it's like it being Drew McIntyre or Sami Zayn rather than CM Punk or Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
You know, we're not discrediting. We're not putting down TK Cooper and Leighton Buzzard and JJ Gow, because I'm thinking of them as the equivalents of your Sami Zayns and your Drew McIntyres, but you're not talking about CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, which is like wrestler number 1 versus wrestler number 1A.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's another way it could go. So I'm really interested to see I'm probably more excited for the results than the matches.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure Mills versus JJ will be really good, and I'm sure Oku versus TK will be really good. But it'll be the jeopardy of me hanging on every pinfall and submission because I don't know who's winning either of those matches.
Yeah.
I genuinely could see TK beating Oku
Yeah.
to set up a rubber match down the line.
Yeah, I
and
could as well.
for him
Yeah.
to be able to turn around and say, well, I beat the guy who was champion when I last had my championship shot. So give me another championship shot against Jay. Because last time I wrestled Jay, he low blowed me. You know, he can spin everything.
Mm-hmm.
I could absolutely see RKJ getting involved to stop Mills from winning.
Yeah.
Just to be like, you beat me last week with a roll up. Like, I'm just taking this away from you because I can do whatever the hell I want because I'm RKJ. And I think the best thing to do with RKJ, I really, really do, is to just turn the heel up. Like,
Yeah.
in Coventry, he was playing heel against Danny Jones. He spat on Brendan White, and then he shook their hands at the end of the match.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not fucking shaking hands with anyone who's just spat on me. Like you'd be trying to pull me away from them.
Yeah.
And nor would I shake hands with anybody I'd spat at. Because
Do you
I
know
must
what,
be pretty disgusting to have done that in the first place.
I don't mind that from RKJ's side because it's just like it's just a disrespect thing, right? Like,
yeah,
it's basically been like, shake my hand like that. In fact, I find that even more.
It's almost like an arrogance from him, I suppose.
I quite like that. I'm with you, right? I don't like this slow, methodical RKJ walk into the ring, right? I want like when he had that run as champion last year. Controversial, right? I know a lot of people didn't like it. I didn't like him winning the title, right? But I understood why he did. I didn't like it, but that was one of my favorite runs.
There were so many cool moments in such a short amount of time.
Again, it was moments and the character work from him. Yeah. And so if we can get that character work working week in, week out, get rid of the constant, I'm going to chuck you into the chairs. No, like, that shit is so passe, so overdone now. Like, you've run the hits multiple times, come up with something new, come up with something a bit fresh.
Just turn up the aggression.
Yeah.
Stop winding the crowd up and teasing them and just hurt people. And what I would really like is just take him away from the main event picture for a little while.
Yeah.
So we've got the thing with Dan Maloney. Then from there, transition into something with someone like really unexpected, like Leon Cage, and just have him fucking murder Leon Cage.
Yeah.
Like, imagine the Portchester Hall crowd who hate RKJ and love Leon.
Yeah.
And then imagine Ricky just making him gushing blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
In like not even in the main event, like in the fourth match on the card.
Yeah.
And it just be vile.
Yeah.
And like I'm not a big proponent of doing stuff that, like, I saw some of the clips from the deathmatch stuff that happened last weekend, and I saw Luke Jacobs back on Sunday, and I was just like, oh God, no, I don't like it. But this actually is meaningful because you need to do. It's like when CTC did stuff to Francesca right at the start. It was unforgivable for a long time. Ricky just needs to do a couple of unforgivable things to make. There are still some fans that cheer him. We need to shut them up. Yeah. Ricky needs to shut those fans up.
Yeah.
And not let anybody cheer him.
Yeah.
And then you've got a monster heel. And with him and Shah, I feel like there'd be a great bit of range in RevPro that we've missed for a long time, where it's been very face heavy and tweener heavy.
Yeah, you need proper heels. Look, when we did the end of year awards, we had people in there who weren't heels for the best heel, right? Because there were no heels, and I think RKJ won it because he was the only out and out heel, right?
Yeah,
And would I say he was an effective heel? Yes, but was it an inspired heel?
Probably only for those couple of months that from winning the title to losing the title, right?
Exactly, yeah. Like, yeah, I just want. I feel again. I keep coming around to this point. I want something different from RKJ. I've said this for 18 months now. I
Yeah,
want something different from RKJ. This is our chance because you've got a top class opponent in Dan Maloney here,
yeah.
right? So you've got something. You've got the opportunity to do something different.
And
So
those
yeah,
lads have like done some really good stuff together before.
yeah,
And there's like quite a lot of heat and history they can lean into. Like I remember them having a street fight in Sheffield about 4 or 5 years ago.
hmm
Um, like they obviously feel comfortable with each other and trust each other, and
yeah,
that's when you get the most aggressive wrestling, right?
yeah, exactly, mate. But
Speaking of people who we wanted something different from,
mhm.
have you been as impressed as I have of late with Cameron Kai?
Nah, mate.
No, is he not
No,
doing it for you?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Cameron. Like,
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so
like
glad.
you know what was really the defining point, I think, and the point that's going to stick in my mind with him. That promo, not from last Southampton, but Southampton before,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And it was like, oh, he has. It was the Luke Jacobs effect, right? Oh, he's got character. He can talk. He's actually pretty
Yeah,
good, right? More of that, please. And pairing him with Leon,
yeah.
inspired, absolutely inspired.
Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. I am desperate for him to beat Joe Lando on Sunday.
I think he should, 100%.
I I can see storyline reasons why he doesn't,
Yeah.
because Liam messes it up, or because Liam didn't plan this,
hmm
and Leon and Kai can't do anything without Liam, or at least that's what Liam tells us. So here's just another little point for Liam to be able to
Yeah.
say, this weren't the plan, what were you boys doing? And I like that. That's quite clever, and it's quite a good little story. But I really feel like you need to strike on the fact that the lad has been a nearly man for quite a few years. It's not just
Yeah.
like he came close to beating Nino Bryant. We thought he was going to beat Will Caven. We thought he was going to win the last J Cup. We thought he was going to
Yeah.
win the J Cup before that. Like, there's been a lot of, are we going to do this with Cameron Kai or not?
Yeah.
But now feels like the right time because he's wrestling the best he's wrestled,
Yeah.
complete with character work and a sense of purpose and direction. Like, he's just a cocky and arrogant, full of himself heel.
Yeah.
And I like that. I
Yeah.
really like it.
So do I, mate. I've been a Cameron fan from day one. The first match I saw of him, and I don't know if it was his first or one of his first few
The
Red
big
Pro
fluffy
matches.
hair.
Yeah, and it was against Michael Oku in Southampton. And
Yeah.
I remember the match graphic dropping, and obviously at that point he doesn't have like a really good graphic, right? He looks like this skinny little kid with big hair,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And then he walks out, and you go, he's a bit more muscly than he looks on
Yeah.
his picture. And you're
I remember
thinking, yeah,
this was at a time when I didn't go down to Southampton. I didn't go up to Sheffield because they were too far for me to go until I went once and was like, sod it, I'm coming here every time. So I used to watch Southampton on demand, and Cameron only wrestled in Southampton and Portsmouth.
yeah,
He hadn't appeared anywhere else. And I remember being so excited when he came to London. And my first time seeing him was he wrestled Leon Slater in the 229.
yeah,
What must have been early 2023. And that was like, it was for me, like, I've heard, it was like when I first saw, I remember watching Rio Ferdinand's debut for West Ham. Or like the first time I got to see Joe Cole, when it was like, we've heard so much about this kid from the youth team. Like, I can't wait for him to break into the team. And you've got, Rio was the Rolls Royce and Joe was like the most talented player Tony Carr, our youth director, had ever seen, he said. So you're so excited for it. It's mad to think that he's still only 19, Cameron. I just feel like this is the right time, and I don't think it does a disservice to Joe Lando because I think he's been an excellent cruiserweight champion.
same.
Nino, I still think Will Caven did a good job of just bringing a bit of stability to a belt I'd lost interest in. it wasn't a stellar run because he didn't defend it very often,
Yeah.
but it was a necessary run. And then Nino, it was like Robbie X was champion again, or Michael Oku before him, when it was like the belt's just getting defended all the time, always a good match, always entertaining. And Joe's continued that.
Yeah.
And I think Cameron can do it, but he can do it from a different side. He can be the competitive defending champion, but the dickhead side of it. He can be
Agreed.
young guns in the cruiserweight division.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm loving everything about Cameron at the minute. But you know what's really intriguing me as well? Again, we talked about his story. Okay, so you made this point about how what's Liam gonna do? And I really loved the backstage reactions from Wolverhampton, where Liam gave the backstage talk of Liam, and I'm like, I can see this going down the route where the Slater Dojo is still the Slater Dojo, but is there a different coach in town?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Now,
whose dojo is it?
Now, I'm kind of two minds, because part of me wants to go, you know what, I like your suggestion, and we could have Cameron and eke it out to the J Cup, right? And that's how you get that, and you do something where there's a power struggle. But I'm kind of like you're saying, strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
Like you've got him getting so many wins over Joe Lando that now just feels like the time to do it. Like, in actual fact, subvert expectations of, well, he's got all of those, so Joe's going to win. Like, no, just give him the win, belt him up. Like,
is there also a possibility that Leighton Buzzard turns on Joe Lando this Sunday?
Oh, I didn't think of that.
And Buzzard, because you think last time we were in Cardiff, Joe retained and Buzzard came out, and it was a bit like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
What's this about? And Buzzard and Cameron was the original pairing, wasn't it? So you could very easily have Buzzard be the snake in the grass, turn heel, turn on Joe Lando, and then hug Cameron Kai, or even just give Cameron Kai a knowing, like, wink, as if to be like, I always had your back.
Yeah.
Like, we might not be like tight anymore, and you might have gone in one direction, I've gone in another, but
yeah.
You know,
that's a good shout, because
that's like there's something interesting there. Although I must say, I've really enjoyed Leighton Buzzard, the face. It's been the most I've enjoyed his work, and I think he's, you know, like how wrestlers mix up their in-ring style depending on whether they're playing heel or face.
Yeah.
Certain moves, like Shah Samuels only does the butcher's hook when he's heel. Things like that. I feel like when Leighton's playing face, his move set is just a little bit more appealing to me.
Okay.
And so therefore I enjoy him bell to bell a little bit more. But I also know that we've never really got the full Leighton Buzzard heel run, because whether it's going out to Japan or you know, the unfortunate injury, something's always got in the way. So I'm very open-minded to either direction.
I think that I would prefer the heel run, because I think that's where I've seen his best work, his best character.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that.
And I think also as well, because for me, Leighton Buzzard is a main man, and it very much feels like he's like a CPF of CPF, right? Like, that's what he is at the minute. And look, there could be numerous reasons for that. There could be that they're building up to a heel turn, which will put him back in the four. So you've got to do this groundwork. It could be that maybe he's around for a little bit, then he's back off to Japan for a bit. So why would you give the big feature spot? So there's all these things that it could be. But for me, as a fan watching, I prefer that, and I want to see more of that heel work. And maybe I'm just more of a heel fan. I don't know, but I feel like you said as well, RevPro have been lacking those true out and out heels, and
yes,
I think let's look at it, right. Who are the true out and out heels in RevPro? Like, really, you've probably got, I can count on this. So in the men's division, RKJ Shah, right? They're my two there.
Both of which are heavyweights as well.
Yeah. Women's division, Alexis Falcon.
Yeah.
Sky Smithson.
Yeah. Even then, like, Smithson could go further.
Yeah,
Like, she could be more of an aggressive, violent heel.
yeah,
And I'm not saying that that's, Smithson's not doing enough. She'll
no,
be doing what she's directed to do, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's what makes a heel.
Similarly, Falcon is hilarious as a heel. So there's an element of the fact that fans will secretly like her.
Yeah,
Whereas really, like, I think with a proper heel, even in this day and age, you need to really fucking hate them.
yeah,
Like, Shaw at the moment, I love Shaw. He is one of my favourite people as a man, like, in RevPro, in terms of I've done lots of bits and pieces with him over the years. He's always been a supporter of mine. He's a good guy. He's lovely with my kids. He's been lovely to my missus, like all this sort of stuff, right? But all of that has gone away. He is not doing merch. He is not talking to fans. He's not like fucking being horrible to my kids or anything, but he is completely embracing his new role.
yeah.
And then when he comes out to the ring, he is just horrible, and it makes you dislike him.
Yeah.
Like, it's about suspension of disbelief, isn't it? So yeah, more heels everywhere, more heels in every division.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go on to the final division we're going to talk about, just a couple of bits to mention. A big congratulations to Callum Newman.
Yeah, mate, I did not see that coming.
Neither did I.
Like, you think Callum Newman is IWGP champion before Gabe Kidd? I was looking at the list of non-Japanese wrestlers to hold that title of the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And it is...
How many have you got on the
There's
list?
only 4.
I'm going to see if I can get them. Right, so Ospreay,
Yep.
the last 20 years. Brock Lesnar?
That's just before. Brock
Just
Lesnar
before.
was like 21 years ago.
Oh, okay, so I was thinking Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle, but I think they're before that.
Yeah.
Then. Kenny Omega.
They're all recent. And they're all like...
Oh, right, so Will Ospreay.
In fact, they're all steeped in RevPro history, all 4 of them, actually.
Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Jay White?
Jay White, yep. There's 5, sorry, because I missed Omega.
Omega, Ospreay, Jay White.
And 2 people we've mentioned today as potential headliners of Wembley.
Oh, Zack Sabre Jr., yeah.
Zack Sabre Jr. and
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
Yeah.
What a list. And now the next one's Callum Newman at 21 years old. Crazy. Yeah. Like, it's obviously this is a very different New Japan now. This is New Japan in the world where AEW exists.
Yeah.
As opposed to New Japan where they were the alternative to WWE.
Yeah.
But it's not Shota Umino. It's not Gabe Kidd. It's not Yu Uemura or any of these young guys that they've been building up. It's him and Tsuji that have taken on the belt, and that's pretty awesome.
Just going to say something to you here. 4th of September 2022, the Legion, Lucian Phillips and Yota Tsuji defeat Callum Newman and JJ Gale.
Yep.
It always comes back to RevPro. I was hoping.
Always, mate.
I was hoping it was going to be St. Neots, mate. I'm not going to lie. I was a bit disappointed to see it was London.
First time I ever saw JJ Gale, not Callum Newman, but the first time I ever saw JJ Gale was in St. Neots, and he was tagging with Callum Newman against Aussie Open. The first time I ever saw Callum Newman was my first ever RevPro show, and it was him and Dan Maloney.
Yeah. I'm just looking at our cage match open. I've got like Unbound Company, and it's got Gedo, Shingo, Taiji Ishimori, Yota Tsuji, Robbie X. Like, that's the other one, right? Who But you mentioned about Callum winning that title before Gabe Kidd. Who saw Robbie X holding gold in New Japan
Yeah, it's wicked now.
before Michael Oku in one of the major like New
Yeah,
Japan,
yeah, yeah.
AEW or something like that? Crazy. It's so
Yeah.
great. It's so great to see.
It really is like, and like it's. I posted something about it when I came back from the Contenders show last weekend,
hmm,
when it was like someone that we've watched tonight in 5 to 10 years' time.
yeah,
Bearing in mind, like some of the wrestlers there were 15 years old. Like 5 to 10 years' time could be a major champion in a major promotion in the world.
yeah,
Who's it going to be? Who's going to step up?
yeah.
Is it going to be an Isaac Murray or an Elvin Narayan, or is it going to be a one of the even younger guys that are there? So yeah, just what a quality time.
And it also looks like potentially Callum Newman is going to feature on AEW television with the IWGP title as well.
Wicked, love that.
It looks like United Empire are heading out to AEW. Which,
Oh really?
like even yeah. So
Ospreay's going to Japan to do a match, isn't he?
yeah, I think he's had a match.
Has he had it, or he's going to have it at Wrestling Dontaku, or was it Sakura Genesis?
I think it was on. I think it was on the same card, wasn't it? That I
tried, or I think maybe he's got another one announced as well.
Maybe. Yeah, let's have a look.
I tried to get into the New Japan Cup, but I must admit I failed.
Sakura Genesis, Great Khan, Hinari, and Will Ospreay versus El Desperado, Taichi, and Yuya Uemura.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a couple of weeks ago. I had a little spell where I watched Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision, Revolution, and all the first round matches of the New Japan Cup. I do it sort of every 6 months, and I'm like, is something on telly going to capture me and draw me in?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say any of it did, mate. Like literally none of it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm finding it harder and harder with TV wrestling. Like
I could claim that I'm still watching Raw and SmackDown, but I would argue that I'm listening to Raw and SmackDown.
I get what you mean.
On, and I'm listening to promos, and I'm like, oh, interesting, they're doing that, are they? And then the wrestling starts, and I stop watching.
Yeah,
because the wrestling's the boring bit.
Yeah, and that's
which is so arse backwards, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
It's a professional wrestling company. The wrestling should be the thing that draws you in.
I saw something recently where someone said about like, what's the most important thing to you? Is it character or is it the wrestling? It's like, should be both.
They should be
like they are hand in hand. They're two sides of the same coin. Like
exactly.
The in-ring doesn't need to be like Will Ospreay level. It can be Roman Reigns level. Yeah. But like, because we grew up, I imagine you did, watching the Attitude Era. It wasn't the best in ring compared to now.
No, not at all. Go back and watch some Attitude Era stuff, and it stinks.
But the big matches usually always delivered, and you still went, oh, but I've got these big characters, but I've still got Kurt Angle here. I've got Jericho.
Yeah.
You had the real cool wrestling as well, right?
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, David Francisco has announced that Purpose Wrestling has come to an end.
Yes.
But in a really lovely, I read it. I don't know if you read it.
But for a very nice reason, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like his career has taken him to a point where he can't commit to it anymore, which is, sad for Purpose fans and everybody else involved in Purpose. But it's coming from a good place.
Yeah. Yeah,
we appreciate David Francis.
I've seen something quite funny here. So there's so basically what's happened is Purpose have rebranded their Twitter page to Renegade Wrestling because the new company coming in, and someone who I've usually never seen at Progress shows. I'm just going to put it out there. Wouldn't it have been easier to have Renegade have their own socials instead of jumping on this one? Okay. Not quite sure that would have been the case, because if someone's coming in to replace it and you've got a social media page with 1,200 followers, that's probably the best one.
Yes, I don't think it's easier to start with 0 followers than 1,200.
And then, of course, David has put, if it was we would have done it.
I love him. He's so
Oh,
quick and he's so smart and he's so funny.
yeah,
I
genuinely.
thoroughly
Yeah.
enjoyed his match with Richard Holiday at the weekend, I must say. When we talk about wrestling, that it doesn't always have to be that serious, it was really good fun.
It was fun, silly bollocks. That's what I'll
Yes.
say. Yeah,
And it was in a good spot on the card.
yeah.
Like,
Not
it
one.
was in the phase of the show where you're still just kind of like getting into everything, because there was also some very serious wrestling to be had on Sunday.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I didn't know who I was supposed to be cheering for. That's the one thing I'll say. I didn't know who I was supposed
yep.
to be in favour of, but I felt that it was a very different match for a RevPro card. When I saw that announced, I was
Yeah.
like, this doesn't feel very RevPro. But we said here on this pod, there's a few things that are happening lately that don't feel traditionally RevPro.
Yeah.
And
And
what, yeah,
variety's good, right?
and speaking of variety, we said it might have been about a month, maybe 6 weeks ago. The one thing we said was that the roster felt like it was getting a bit stale.
Mm.
Right, there was a lot of the same happening, and now we're seeing new faces popping up everywhere,
Yeah.
and that's been really cool because it just gives something a bit different. So
Yep.
yeah,
Absolutely.
moving on then finally to the tag team division. So
I think you and I were in a very similar position, right? Bryant's were our least likely winners of that four-way.
yes, yeah, I had Greedy Souls winning, then top tier if not, then the Fresheners given their popularity in Wales, and then the Bryants.
Yep, and my order was identical, other than the fact that I had top tier above Greedy Souls simply because we had Souls last time, so I thought they'd do top tier this time. That was all.
So my question to you: do Young Guns make it to Wembley with belts?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I do not think it is the right thing to do to have them lose the belts. And if it's a case of, well, we're going to have them drop it as like a bit of a swerve and then bring them back to it, it's like the swerve might surprise people and people like to be surprised, but I think it weakens the legacy of Young Guns.
I
Just
agree.
let them keep beating people.
I
They're
agree.
always entertaining matches. Like, Young Guns have had more matches in my top 10 of the year so far than I think they did in all of last year already this year, because their match with Cowboy Way is high up in it.
Yeah.
All three of their matches with Lycos Jim are in it. I think the first one they had might have just fallen out of the trapdoor. Like, and then when you think about the matches which aren't top 10 matches of the year but were still highly entertaining, the Fresheners' first match was with Young Guns and was a great way of showcasing them. They got over immediately, so I'm glad that they've come back. I would more than happily just see Young Guns beating people, and there's plenty of tag teams that you can do it with, because the tag division has started to evolve. We've got more relationships in RevPro recently, which I like the Leon and Cameron and the CPFs and things like that. It just means that you could we're going to do Leighton Buzzard and Danny Black versus Young Guns. It doesn't have to be for the titles, just a match. But that's still a show where you're getting a really good Young Guns match, because you know that match is going to be good because everybody in it's good. So yeah, I just do that. I think at some point I feel like we're going to get Gates of Agony versus Young Guns, probably a Summer Sizzler or something like that. And I don't think I'll be going into it thinking Gates of Agony are going to leave with the titles, but
a big win.
It'll still be a really good match, won't it? It'll still be something we've not seen before, in the sense that Young Guns will be going into a match against blokes that are bigger than them.
Yeah.
So
which is a nice dynamic
train going.
Yeah. I'm watching this Young Guns reign unfold, and for me, I try to think of, certainly in independent wrestling, since I've been following it as intently as I have, I don't think there's any reigns, any belts that have come close to me. Like,
no,
when we're talking about the
been top tier in it.
Yeah, when we talk about the variety of matches, the types of matches, aura, because that does count for something. You want your top level guys to feel like I can't stop thinking when I hear what song is it? Stone Roses. I want to
Yeah,
be
I want to
adored.
be adored.
I think Adidas tracksuits coming
Yep.
out, and I can
I had it
still,
playing in the car. It came on shuffle in the car the other day,
yeah.
and immediately I thought my mind just went straight to your call.
And I even remember the picture. I forget his name now. Ash, I think it is, takes pictures. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, and this picture of the lad's mouth covered, and
hmm
that track, and that is like for a song to be so synonymous with that. I think
yeah,
I can literally remember Joe Lando's dive off through the table, all
yeah,
of that. These are moments that kind of sit with you. And I remember at that point going to you, this run feels like it's gone for ages more.
yeah.
But did I
And
think
you
that it's
think
come into this year?
it's either gonna end with them losing the belts to FTR, or it's gonna end with them. They're gonna beat FTR and continue.
Yeah.
Either way, that's massive, isn't it?
So I know Sharon will be listening to this. So Sharon and I have had a bit of back and forth about this actually. And she won't mind me sharing the messages, I'm sure. If she does, then I've had to lose a friend. But I'm sure Sharon won't mind because there's nothing controversial in there.
She'll
But
forgive you. She's a sweetheart.
oh, I've said much worse that she's told me off for. So we were talking about this, and she said to me, "So do you reckon the FTR match is non-title?" And I said, "No, not a chance. Like it's going to be for the titles." And she said, and this is what Sharon said, and I want to preface this by saying as well that this is a mad statement for someone to be able to come out with, but that shows what RevPro has been in the last year. She went, but then is there any jeopardy? Because who believes that FTR are getting the belts? And she
I
went,
do.
and then she said, not that anyone believed that Monet would, because
Yeah, yeah,
we
exactly.
certainly didn't. We recorded 2 fucking podcasts
We did.
because we were like, surely it's not going to happen. Let's just create a backup one just in case. The
And
backup,
actually, our Shirakawa one was probably had way more effort put into it
yeah, because
than the Monet one, because we were like, well, she's not going to win, but we'll do one just in case.
yeah, exactly. Like we better do one just in case. Oh, that's the one that's going out there then. And she went, but that's what I said. I was like, and the fact that you can go to that and go, well, actually, Mercedes Monet won, so why can't FTR?
I'd go the opposite end to where Sharon's gone and say, do I really think that FTR would lose to Young Guns? Well, no, that's not. I've not phrased that nicely. I don't like that.
No, I know what you mean. No, I
Do
know
I
what you mean.
believe that FTR would lose to anyone in a
Yeah,
Rev Pro ring? Do you know
there's
what I mean? Like
there's a
they're a
stature. Yeah,
they're a fucking Mount Rushmore tag team.
yeah. Like
So
when you look at these things, and you have to look at someone coming in and going, are they likely just going to come in and get the win because of their standing in the world,
yeah,
right? Here's my example of this: Yuya Uemura, right?
hmm
Beat back-to-back nights 2 guys that are faced off in the semi-finals of
yeah.
Revolution Road. And that's just because of who his
And I
standing
didn't
is.
feel like he should have beaten either of them.
No, neither do I. But it's that
But you understand the politics of it. Like
exactly. But
New Japan are trying to build him up to be a big guy.
yeah, but then when you talk about politics, respectfully, Alexis Falcon should not have beaten Mercedes Moné in Wolverhampton, right?
Alexis Falcon appeared on an episode of Collision, didn't she? Wasn't she on one of the tapings and she
Ring of
got
Honor.
jobbed out to somebody?
Yeah, Ring of Honor. Yeah.
Maybe saying she got jobbed out is harsh because I don't remember it enough. Maybe it went 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. Maybe it went 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
I'm going to fact check this because
Have a little look for me, mate.
She
It definitely happened.
She is the sort of person that if she was made aware of this, she would come and give us shit for it. So we do not want to end up on the wrong side of her.
Well, and also, I'm not the most religious man in the world, but I do know that God is watching, and I certainly don't want to upset one of His disciples doing the good Lord's work.
Ring of Honor against Trish Adora. Doesn't say how long. It doesn't say how long. No, it doesn't say how long at all, mate. No.
You'd imagine like a Ring of Honor match is normally quite a short match, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unless it's a big thing, it's normally a 5-minute match at most.
It was on a 9-match card, yeah. So
yeah. So do you know what I mean? Like the fact is, Tony Khan has sanctioned Mercedes Moné losing to someone that he has booked for Ring of Honor and not put in a high profile spot. And you're talking about one of his top stars.
Yeah.
Yes, I am so up for FTR versus Young Guns. It is unbelievable. And I'm full of jeopardy for it. And the one thing that I'm also really excited for.
This is a reminder.
Thank you for that reminder.
My Alexa just went, "This is a reminder," and then said nothing.
She didn't even bloody remind you of anything. No. What a half job. Eventually, Young Guns are going to lose the titles, right? When that happens, how refreshing at that point, after a year and a half to 2 years of them carrying the belts, is it going to be to have Luke Jacobs back in the singles undisputed British Heavyweight Championship picture? And honestly, the minute they lose the belts, have Ethan Allen start at the bottom of the cruiserweight ranks and just have him murder everybody until he becomes cruiserweight champion, and then let him be cruiserweight champion for a year. Because you can't tell me that you are not going to enjoy weekly Ethan Allen matches where he just twists and stretches and kicks the crap out of all these little young cruiserweights. He can be the biggest, most heavyweight of the cruiserweights, right? A bit like we're doing sort of with Leighton Buzzard.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to RevPro, I'm the biggest Luke Jacobs fan, not named Charlie. And Ethan Allen has made me question, do I actually prefer him? And I mean, when I say prefer, I mean, I don't mean that as serious as it sounds.
Can
but
you think of a tag team in the world, and like genuinely have a little think about this. Can you think of a tag team from any era where the two individual wrestlers were so stylistically complementary of one another and equally as exciting to watch in singles matches? I genuinely can't.
Do you know what? The only other one that I could, but they don't have him doing all the stuff that he could, is FTR. Because Cash Wheeler tones down his style intentionally. So they've got a very similar style, but you've seen it in AEW, like when he does the flips, that's his kryptonite. But the guy can do so much.
Honestly, the closest that I can think of is when I start thinking about tag teams that aren't really tag teams, like the Golden Lovers. Like Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, but you're talking about two massive single stars that.
I've got one, and to get it, I have to go back to the early 90s.
Yeah.
The Steiner brothers.
Yeah, but what an elite level conversation of tag teams we're talking about.
Yeah.
And this isn't us looking at RevPro through a lens of having a lower standard for RevPro compared to all the other companies. Like genuinely, put up WWE's best, AEW's best, New Japan's best, TNA's best, CMLL's best. Put all of their best tag teams up, and then take wrestler A and wrestler B. Compare the how much you enjoy watching them as single stars. Compare how different they are, because Luke and Ethan are so different, but combine are. This is such a fucking mark out, but genuinely, I that's how elite I think they are.
Yeah, I for me, they are top level.
If they are not on weekly television within the next 2 years, fucking Tony Khan and Triple H and anybody else just needs their heads banging against the wall.
Yeah, look, if they can,
they really don't care about tag team wrestling.
If they can wait 6 months, because genuinely. Every time I hear people give the buzz about Luke Jacobs and Young Guns, all I keep thinking is, I do not want someone coming in. And don't get me wrong, if they get signed, I'll be the happiest person.
But give us FTR first.
There's a film, I don't know how much you're aware of it, called Falling Down, Michael Douglas film, where it's about a guy who everything just goes wrong in his life. It's about how a regular, everyday guy eventually just loses it and commits crimes and basically snaps. That would be me. That would be my moment. That would be my genesis of that. Yeah.
Have you seen the film Harry Brown?
No.
It's a similar thing. There's
Okay.
Michael Caine as an old man in London who he's an old soldier and a drug dealing, roadman gang
Okay.
kill his best friend in a needless, mindless murder, and he just snaps and just starts killing all these young whippersnappers. And I've always thought to myself, I was like, yeah, I could envisage that. Like, if enough things go a certain way, there's a vigilante rampage in me somewhere.
I would so much rather be able to say, why did this match never happen? But I understand why it didn't. Then show me it can happen. Don't Stephanie Vicaire me here, like.
Yeah. But this is like Stephanie Vicaire on like speed, isn't it? Because it's.
Look, I've made no bones about.
We're so invested in Young Guns, so much more than we ever were in Danny Luna. No disrespect to her, but like. Also, Danny Luna in the RevPro always felt like it was going to lead to her going somewhere again.
Also,
Young Guns have literally, like, you talk about like someone like Charlie, she's watched them since they were teenagers.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've just typed into I've just typed into Twitter FTR Young Guns. Okay, so the first thing that pops up for me is me, June 22nd, 2025. Young Guns holding the belts up, saying I need Young Guns versus FTR. Let's go, RevPro anniversary show in August. That was last year. Okay, so I was a year out of it. 2025, we fucking need FTR versus Young Guns at Global Wars UK. February the 6th. Then that got announced. But yeah, like I've been beating this drum for literally a couple of years. The amount is not healthy. The amount of times I saw Dax Harwood posting and me saying, come and see Young Guns, and then Ethan Allen like tagging them, shamelessly tagging them, so that hopefully one of them would share it and something potentially could happen. But never in my wildest dreams.
Willing it into the universe, mate, wouldn't you?
But the thing is, right, like, you kind of do it because you hope that something could catch on, right? But you never actually expect it to happen. In the same way that when Mercedes Moné was announced, we were like, this is never going to happen. Like, we've said this so many times about things. But you talk about dream matches, and it's a phrase that, look, it's a phrase that can get you fucking blocked by a promotion when you say to MLW, or say about an MLW match, whose dream match is this? But I didn't even fucking tag them. I just said it. I forget who it was. It was someone like Karrion Kross Matt Riddle. That was the match. And all I did was I posted going, whose dream match is this? Yeah. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. This would be the match I would say is actually like has been my dream match for a few years, because I love tag team wrestling. FTR they're probably my favorite tag team of the modern era by far. Like, I mean,
there's a very strong argument to say it should main event at Wembley.
There is. The 100% is.
And the only reason I talk about the heavyweight championship main eventing is more because it's almost like RevPro tradition that the heavyweight championship main event's the big anniversary show.
Yeah, and also I kind of think as well, this would be another one of those scenarios when I say that this is an amazing match in wrestling, but it doesn't have that story cachet that I was talking about. Okay, So if you've got Michael Oku and Connor Mills that have got all that built-in story, and you have this supporting it, being the foundation, and that's on.
Yep.
What a fucking amazing way to do that, right? And that's
like, you just think about what this card could look like, in the sense that you could, at the top, you could have a match where, to us, it's, oh my God, we're getting Michael Oku versus Connor Mills, or oh my God, we're getting Jay Joshua versus Connor Mills, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to your average European wrestling fan who has flown in for Wembley Stadium and is going to Wembley Arena the night before, looks at it and's like, I've heard of Michael Oku. Or looks at it and it's Connor Mills and Jay Joshua and's like, no, I'm not familiar with these guys, but he's got a belt.
Yeah.
If you then have underneath it FTR versus Young Guns, Zack Sabre Jr. versus someone, Gabe Kidd versus someone, Dan Maloney versus someone. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need all of them. You don't need all of them, but a couple of those sorts of matches
Yeah.
It's like when we saw bloody, I can't think of his name. I can picture him in my head. Who did we walk to the
Don Callis.
AEW show? Don Callis. When we were walking Don Callis to the AEW show last year, and he said, "So who's wrestling at RevPro tomorrow?" And we said, "Oh, its main event is Luke Jacobs versus," or the year before last, wasn't it? And we said Luke Jacobs versus Michael Oku, and at the time he was like, "No, I don't know them. Is Gabe Kidd wrestling?"
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, "Yep, he's on the card. He's wrestling." I can't remember who he was wrestling at the time, but it was like Don didn't know who Oku and Gabe Kidd were. Sorry, didn't know who Don Oku and Luke Jacobs were, but he knew Gabe Kidd.
Yeah.
So if he'd come to the show to watch Gabe Kidd, you're not telling me he doesn't leave thinking, "Wow, that Luke Jacobs and Michael Oku, they really put on a massive main event, didn't they?"
Exactly that. And like you look at that show, right? And it was funny because I was laughing because I've got the card for the 12th anniversary show here, right? And you're basically and did more than all that. He was against Dijak.
Yeah.
It was in the nicest way such a forgettable match that I forget.
It was, wasn't it?
It really was. Look,
I hoped for it. I thought they were going to proper like batter each other for 10 minutes, but
I don't know, right? Because I'm thinking I've loved Dijak, right? But I've only seen him have one good match or two good matches in a RevPro ring, right? One was against Michael Oku, one was against Robbie X, right? And I'll go as far as saying
yes.
I'll go in fact saying the Robbie X one was great.
It's funny actually because when you said I've only seen him have two good matches in a RevPro ring, I was thinking, blimey, I can't think of any.
Yeah,
the Robbie X match was I weren't there, was I? That's the last time I didn't go to a RevPro show.
Yeah,
and the Michael Oku match was tremendous fun.
Yeah, but then when I think about him in NXT, and the main match I loved there from him was Keith Lee.
Yep.
Now, Keith is a big guy, but what does he have that the other two that we just mentioned has? He has agility. And I think that sums it up for me, just a mismatch of styles. But when you look at that card, Michael Oku and Luke Jacobs was built on a card that literally had Zack Sabre Jr. and Hechicero directly before it. So have FTR versus Luke and Ethan directly before it.
Yeah.
Have AJ Styles versus Leon Slater directly before it. But here we go, right? Let's look at this card, right? So you've got that. You've got Zack Sabre Jr. and Hechicero in the match before, right? Hechicero, much more well known now to casual TV audiences than he was before.
Yeah. But people were proper excited about that, right? Because they'd just had a 5-star match, hadn't they?
Exactly. Mina Shirakawa. TV name, and look, Danny Luna now probably has more cachet than maybe even Mina Shirakawa does with wrestling in TNA. Also, interesting to see that she's no longer employed by TNA. She's been granted her release.
Yeah, so I saw she requested it. I didn't see the outcome. They've granted it, though.
They've granted it. So I'll be interested to see what that means for over here. But I could equally see a scenario where she could go to NXT. And be
this is it, right? Like part of me is like, does that mean she's coming back to the UK? Or there's another part where it's like, oh, okay, maybe she's been given the opportunity to go to an even bigger fish than TNA.
I can see that scenario where TNA lets someone out of their contract if they're going to go sign with WWE. And with Rain Leverkusen moving there and all of that jazz, like you could see it happening. I wouldn't begrudge it.
100%, mate. 100%.
But then also, you've got Gabe Kidd versus Dijak. You've got Tomohiro Ishii. So you're looking at this card, right, and you're going, these are all the big matches. Like you've every one of these matches, right, beforehand. Zack Sabre Jr., Mina Shirakawa, to a degree, grizzled young veterans, Dijak and Gabe Kidd, Giselle Shaw, Tomohiro Ishii, Dante Martin, El Phantasmo. You go all the way back.
You're literally at the bottom of the card now, right?
And then you've got RKJ versus Desire, Ethan versus Connor Mills. And then, even then, like you go, well, let's have a look at the opening match. You've got a tag team in there who are now, people are saying, are the tag team of the year. With Yuto and Oscar. Like, it's, again, tag team wrestling this year has been tremendous all across the board from what I'm hearing. I'm not going to profess to watch a lot of it in other companies, but what I'm seeing in RevPro and what young guys are doing.
SmackDown, mate.
Yeah, oh god, no.
If you like tag team wrestling, don't watch those shows.
No.
I don't think they know what it is.
But yeah, like Young Guns reign. I still feel like I could get another year out of this, but it feels like the crescendo moment is them getting beat by FTR or them beating FTR. Like, but
Yeah.
then, and then
If they beat FTR though, you're then like, fucking hell, who do they lose it to?
is it jumping the shark? Right? Like that's a genuine question. Is it jumping the shark if they then beat FTR? Because you're like, who we believe can beat them?
Yeah.
Like,
Unless you then have you keep it on the belts for a few more months after FTR, so you've almost kind of forgotten that happened. Like, as in, it's in your longer term memory, and then you have someone beat them in a shock. You know, like at the end of the day, anybody can beat anybody with a really, really tight roll up, right? Not like a really cheap, shitty roll up, not the old schoolboy WWE finish they did for
Yeah.
years, but and that could be a moment. Like, imagine if that was the Bryant brothers.
do you know?
Imagine if that was,
I've
Leon
already,
Cage and Tommy Vril. Like, just someone where
yeah.
you're like, I did not see that coming.
When you mention that there, right? I've got this image of Dax being rolled up, and I've got this title, and one wrestler has appeared in my mind's eye, and it's Joe Lando.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, absolutely. And CPF are so beloved, right? They are so beloved that they could, however they get one over Young Guns, however it is, as you know, as long as they don't turn in the process, because nobody wants heel CPF, get a massive pop.
Yeah, exactly.
So is it safe to say we don't think the Bryants are winning on Sunday?
Yeah.
But do you know what I like though? There's going to be a lot of wrestling on Sunday. A lot of meaningful high stakes wrestling. Right, we've got 4 title matches, and we've got 2 Revolution Road matches. Before you even think about things like Kanji versus Rio is basically a number 1 contenders match, Andy's kind of alluded to. Nino versus Shah's got loads of pent up aggression in it. So just stick this on first.
Yeah.
Stick this on first and have Young Guns come out and it be like a spirited Bryant's performance, but Young Guns win. And then, because not everything can be, you don't want to put all those really high jeopardy matches one after the other because we all get tired. We're all old.
Yeah.
So you got to spread stuff out a bit, right?
Yeah. Absolutely, mate.
I'm excited.
The road to Wembley feels like it's starting to take shape a little bit more now, or at least the vision looks like it could potentially be clearing up a little bit.
And I like the fact that it is the road to Wembley via high stakes, via epic encounter, via the Revolution Rumble. Do you know what I mean? So whilst it feels a long way away, there are still some really cool wrestling shows to be taking place.
There are, mate. Yeah, 100%. Oh, exciting times, my friend. Exciting times.
I enjoyed that, my friend. It's nice to be back talking about wrestling and like talking about it on an analytical level with a fellow Mark.
Who are you? I don't know who you are. Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
I nearly died, my friend. I nearly died. I think I had sepsis. You know, that could have been our final podcast.
Imagine if that was our final podcast.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't take it seriously. Are you familiar with The Hangover?
Yeah.
The Hangover. Are you familiar with the Mr. Chow?
Yeah.
But did you die?
But did you die?
Yeah. I've literally got that loaded up now. I'm like, I'm not gonna put this edit in, but I'm really tempted to download that and just put that in on the screen. Imagine. Right, my friend. Look, we said before the hand. Let's do a tight hour of this, and we're at nearly an hour and a half. But there's so much good stuff going on that I felt like I could sit here and chat and go old school. Remember our first ever episodes? Our 3-hour long epics that we were doing back in the day. Like
60 to 90 is a sweet amount. I like it.
Absolutely, my friend. Right.
Cheers, bud.
Catch you next time.